recently, and let's have a conversation about clones. If not, I'll just say my part and in the world. Where did my do it right here in Chat Arena? I must have accidentally closed the wrong tab. Cannot confirm or deny. I mean, I'm not gonna fault anybody. It's your money. Spend it how you want. But I want to talk about potential things that the community can do to try and fight back and maybe do something to inhibit these guys. There's my Discord for anybody that wants to jump in there. Let me turn this off. That's going to be distracting. Alright, let me turn this music back on. So, I need to add a new scene that has... Actually, I've got the scene here already. Let's set up one of the other profile. Alright, so basically, you'd like to hear my thoughts? Alright, I'll be more than happy to share my thoughts. Give me a platform and a soapbox and I can talk all day. Also, for anyone that doesn't know, Taco Cat spelled backwards is in fact Taco Cat. You can confirm that you have 3 of them. Wow. Alright, so for anyone that didn't see what has happened in the past couple days with Ghost Keyboards, excuse me. And this is just one example. This just happens to be the one that I think they blocked me. They have. Yeah, so Ghost Keyboards has blocked me. They're out here blocking people. And anybody that's speaking out is getting silenced as best as possible. But I can show you here for my profile. So what happened was they've got this new, they've got this new keyboard that they're offering that is pretty much a straight rip off of Magic Girl, Mint Lodica's Magic Girl. You know what, probably okay, so they're not as smart as they think. Well, let me show you the comments. So, okay, so what they've done is a few people, several people in the, the people that made the PewDiePie board stole. I can't get it full screen right now because I'm blocked by them. But they pretty much stole Magic Girl. They're making their own Magic Girl board. They're acting like it's something that they came up with in the comments, they're completely claiming credit for it. And it's just generally a shitty thing to do. Yeah, so they blocked me. So I was made aware of it when Noki, who is actually streaming now, when he made this post. Sorry, I'm not good at this. So when he made this post today, I went through and took my own copy of it. But Noki made a post. A couple other people replied. He started deleting they started deleting comments. Then they made it so comments were limited. Now you can't comment on it at all. So I made this post here. Another day, another theft of others' work in the hobby. Ghost Keyboards, if you did nothing wrong, why have you limited comments? When will these bad actors learn to stop behaving as though they can steal, counterfeit, and do whatever they want? When will customers stop supporting the blatant theft that happens more and more frequently? I did hashtag kill clones, hashtag shit keyboard companies. I would like to see those, catch on, but I don't expect anything to happen. So like, what's happening now? Let's say you go search for GMK Olivia. Everything you're offered is not GMK Olivia. It's clones. So these companies, like this one here, oh, they are not at the top anymore. I wonder if because I reported them. But okay, so these companies that are using platforms like, let's see, he's on Shopify, right? So you can go to Shopify and report these shops that are selling counterfeit stuff. Oh no, what happened? Kiwi, let me know before you post a link. There you go. You can post the link now. DM. All right. Let's see. Where did you DM it? Okay, I see. This was your screenshot. All right. So yeah. So here's another screenshot. Magic Girl is Mint Lodica's trademark number, whatever. Ghost Keyboard. Hi, our keyboard's name is Magical Girl. There was a communication mistake, and we are getting it fixed right now. Just can't sell a Coke flavored beverage calling it Coca-Cola. That's fucking brilliant. You can't just append 2 characters and bank on Mint Lodica's work. Legality aside, this is highly unethical. But yeah, so this is Hippio Tech start. You got in. So pretty much everybody just hopped in. Would I pay $50 for a Killers concert? I don't listen to the Killers, so I don't think I would pay anything for their concert. But as someone that used to attend concerts on a weekly basis, several times a week, often, I don't mind paying to go to shows. But I usually go to bands that don't charge out the ass for their product because they're more about making the music than they are making the money. But that's a whole nother story. So yeah, so basically this was what was going on until they limited comments and then started blocking people. So what I'm thinking is, why don't we go like the grassroots activism route? Start maybe a change.org petition, something like that, where people that are against clones can go sign their name, and hopefully we can get enough people to sign up. What's going on, Project? Hey, Project, hop in Discord with me. Hopefully we can get enough people to sign up and perhaps do like a copy paste template that people can copy and paste to report these vendors that are out here selling counterfeit stuff to Shopify. Once we get, 100 or so people on there, start a campaign where we're going through and finding these guys and reporting them to Shopify, doing whatever we can. It may not do anything, but at least it's going to bring awareness to this in the hobby, because if cloning and the support of cloning continues like it is now, what's going to happen is designers are going to have no motivation, they're not going to want to just keep releasing things that people are going to keep stealing and banking off of their profit, or banking off of their hard work. And like, I get it, a lot of people in the hobby are young. They can't afford to buy a $200 set, but rather than buy a $25 clone, they can buy a $25 original set that is going to be nicer than that clone, and it's not illegal. Because I mean, at the heart of it, counterfeiting is illegal. And what is happening here is not something that we should be tolerating in this hobby, in my opinion. And there's this trend going on Reddit and other places where all of a sudden clones are great. Everybody loves clones. Don't say a negative thing about clones on Reddit. They're going to downvote the shit out of you. And it's very disheartening. And I can only imagine what the designers are like going through right now. Like, this has got to be fucking with them. Like, I mean, Olivia, she's, the things that the designer of Olivia has brought to this hobby. You've got Via as a result of her. Obviously, you've got the Olivia keycap set. But when there's this many people out here, every fucking option is somebody that's stolen her work and is out here. Look, they're using Merlin, like Mech Merlin's name now. I mean, this shit is unacceptable. This wouldn't fly in any other industry, Look at this. How many fucking, it's endless set. There's McMerlin knockoffs of his stuff. Like, there's just an endless fucking supply of these companies that are out here profiting off of counterfeiting and illegal business practices, and no one's doing anything about it. And I think, as a community, as someone that used to be pretty heavily involved in grassroots activism, that kind of stuff, I think as a community, the only thing that we can do is use our wallets to speak out, stop buying them, stop supporting them, and then do something to at least bring light to the dark, I guess. I mean, I could be completely off base here. I could be out of pocket, but I mean, this is how I feel, and I think a lot of people that have been in the hobby, especially those that have been in a hobby longer than me, Mino's all shrugged by clones. It could have been good. Well, I think what's happening is a lot of these people, a lot of these creators or designers, a lot of people at this point have just, unfortunately, the numbers have changed, and the support of clones has out-ratioed, I guess, the support of authentic works, and if it continues, it's going to be bad for the hobby. It's not going to be good. You know, these people that are out here, oh, it's great, I can get this for $25 as opposed to $200. Well, you're really not getting that. You're getting the color. It's about it, and usually that color's not right to begin with. So, are you really getting a GMK Olivia? And like, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get ripped off, screwed. People are going to buy these, put them in official boxes, sell them on Mech Market. People that are new to the hobby, young kids, etc., are going to think they're getting a GMK product, and then they're going to get these $30 sets, and they're going to think this is what GMK is. People are paying $200 for this, you know? So this one actually says cloned. The majority of these do not. Nowhere on here does it tell you that it's a knockoff, not official GMK. This is sold as GMK various popular sets. You can't sit here and tell me that. Look, there's Taro. They use the names of the sets. You can't sit here and tell me that this is acceptable. It's not. If you are the type of person that you need, I mean, $70, that's not even that cheap. It's half the price of a GMK set. You can go to like Taobao and you can get original sets that are shit, I'm not logging in. You can go and get original sets and stuff like that. That's not gonna be stolen work, and you can probably get a higher quality set than you're getting with a counterfeit set. The counterfeiters don't give a shit about the quality. They just want to fucking get your money and get out. They want to, it's basic counterfeiting. Counterfeiters don't give a shit about the quality unless they're counterfeiting like money or something where it matters. But I mean, deep down, it's illegal. It shouldn't be happening. I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. I mean, I want to hear some other people's opinions. If you're here, if you Project, are you still there? Can you hop in Discord? Do I need to invite you to my Discord? Because you had said you wanted to hop in and chat about it. See, you're in do not disturb mode. Are you still there, Project? Alright, he must be lurking or... But yeah, so, I don't know. That's my 2 cents worth on it. Sorry if this doesn't seem relevant to you. But that's how I feel. Anybody that wants to check out the unboxing video I did for the Ducky Pad, there's a link to the YouTube video. It's kind of a quick and dirty video I did about an hour before I went on stream, and I had to do it twice. The first time I recorded the video, I didn't have my mic working apparently, because when Crisp updates, when there's updates available, apparently it just turns your mic off. I didn't realize that. Instead of being the green check, it was X'd out. So yeah, what's going on, Frank? Also, yes.
The TV on?
Yo, who's that?
It's Kiwi.
What's going on? So yeah.
Oh,
luckily it was just like
well, I'm about to head out actually, but I just wanted to get a quick take in.
Yeah, let's hear.
Apiary and, well, at least I think a while not even really recently, actually. They had a whole like chat stream with Alex, Avery, and I forgot who else.
Yeah.
Probably lightning cables. There's, I think, blatant copies of something is, of course, that's fucking, bad. Oh, my apologies. I didn't mean to curse. I forgot you're streaming.
It's fine. As long as you're not saying hate speech and stuff that's gonna get me banned from Twitch. I cuss like a sailor, so you're good. You're good.
Likewise, that's how I grew up. But I think if something is based off something else, like it's, for instance, like you're not blatantly going back to the Coca-Cola thing, right? You're not taking their like images or logos or like like actual things that are that identifies it, but maybe something that has the same color palette, or that isn't like this is blatantly straight up copied and paste. I think that's more acceptable. That's what Apiary and Alex Soto's their conversation was about, basically.
Yeah.
Differences of blatant copy and paste and selling it like this is your thing, versus no, this is inspired by it. I think an inspiration route would have been a much more acceptable scenario instead of like the copy and paste of somebody's actual work.
And
go ahead.
So I think it comes down to a case by case basis, like on how designers feel about it. Some designers see it as flattering, some designers see it for what it is, and and they have a valid point there. But the problem is, now that they've made those statements on their stream, anytime I say something about clones, that's what's getting thrown in my face. That argument, there's several arguments that people in support of cloners will use, and you gotta keep in mind, 1 or 2 creators, 3 or 4 creators doesn't speak for the whole creator community. Colorways, yeah. So if you're gonna do a colorway that's someone else's popular set colorway, at the very least accredit the designer. You don't necessarily have to pay them. Some of these designers aren't in it for the money. They don't give a shit about the money, but they deserve the credit for the work they've done. And if you're going to go out and steal their novelties and everything and go out and name your sets, like you're going to go out and name your sets GMK Olivia, GMK popular sets, GMK, and that's just shitty. That's just, that's something that shouldn't happen in any business scenario, and it's illegal. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's not legal what they're doing. And
also, I would understand the legality between international stuff, because most clones are coming imported. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wouldn't understand how that would actually work.
There's tons of documentaries and information online about counterfeiting in China and how hard it is to stop it because of the sophisticated networks they have.
Right.
What's going on, Organic Ferret? There's a lot of, I find that kind of stuff fascinating, so I've researched that a little bit. I'm not going to say I'm an expert by any means, but these counterfeiters, they, the documentaries that I've seen obviously aren't about keycap sets. But
it's the same thing, basically.
Right.
It's like Louis V. Vuitton.
Or counterfeit pharmaceuticals. And these are made in like bad conditions, and they pretty much have office spaces set up all over the town and shell companies, and they can quickly clear everything out if they know a raid's coming. So it's hard to catch them. Like they're sophisticated. They're good. Counterfeiters in China, they've got counterfeiting down. There isn't a product that you can't get a counterfeit of in Shenzhen. And oftentimes, not necessarily keycap sets, but counterfeiting and good, you can get better counterfeit products than the original product. Like a lot of stuff for like vaping, for instance. People will buy counterfeit coils because they're better than the OEM manufacturer's coils.
Really?
Yeah. But one of the dangers on using like counterfeit coils is it might have lead. So, and that's another thing. Like a lot of counterfeit products are dangerous to people, detrimental to people. You don't know if that Chinese set was manufactured on lead molds and now you're typing on something that's going to give your fingers lead poisoning 3 years down the road. And that's something that people don't talk about or take into realization because they just want a cheap keycap set. The white transitioning is so convincing to you that you keep... This was like... It was like a cheap... Or no, it was a free transition that I found like, geez, 2 years ago, and I was just like, let me find a stinger. I think they call them stingers in OBS, but yeah. And it's like not as good quality as one you'd pay for, but it gets the job done, so that's what I use.
Yeah. And actually, just honestly, I am honestly a hypocrite about it because I do own some sets that are copy and pasted, but
Right.
I understand what you mean. Like for instance, like I was making, like I was gifting, what's it called, a engagement gift to my best friend, and you know, and of course I'm pretty broke. I'm still kind of like trying to get my career going.
Yeah.
And you know, just to
Hey,
put something together, I had to
believe me, if you haven't been broke in life, you haven't lived life yet. So
Yeah,
everybody,
right.
everybody's broke at some point. Don't, you know,
But
don't think
yeah,
you're alone in that. I mean, most of my life I worked in kitchens and barely scraped by. So I mean,
that's a different hustle.
most of America's barely scraping by. So you're definitely in the majority if you're living life broke. So.
Well, man, yeah, man. It's a weird place especially there's a lot of left and right fields because I was definitely a kid who grew up on bootleg DVDs.
Oh yeah, I mean, who doesn't pirate videos at some point, you know? Now I try not to do that kind of stuff as much as I'm by no means financially stable, but I can afford to pay for things that I use. So, you know, as you get older, I guess people, you know,
you actually have money to spend things.
Yeah, people's morale. Like I don't have kids and a wife, so I can spend all my money on me. Like talking about being a hypocrite. Today I bought this desk mat. This is a private group buy. This was the desk mat that was originally supposed to go along with GMK. How do you spell it? Kawaii. So if you look here, the desk mat that they offered ended up being just the background. Bachu, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm terrible at pronouncing stuff. At least made up words and usernames. So this was supposed to be the original desk mat that was going to be offered alongside of GMK Kawaii. Anybody that knows how to say it? Yeah, exactly, Hammer Brother. So this was supposed to be the desk mat, but literally a week before the group buy went live, GMK changed their copyright policy. I'm assuming due to just the amount of sets that are taking inspiration from things, and they probably just wanted to cover their bases. So this desk mat was dropped, and instead just the background. Bachu said, fuck it, I'm going to go to a manufacturer and have these made, and if you want them, you can get the information in his Discord, or message me and I'll get you in the Discord. It's a limit of one. I bought one, you know, and I bought it because I like the artwork. I don't watch Fate. I would have never known who this character was, but it's a cool desk mat. Desk mat collecting is kind of my thing. I've got a stupid amount of desk mats if you've ever looked at my Instagram and saw the video, but it's hard for me to pass up a rare private group buy, so especially for a desk mat. So I mean, I'm just as guilty as anybody else. So, you know, to say that people, and I probably in the beginning of the hobby, I probably bought shit that I didn't know at the time, you know. And so I can't fault somebody for buying clones, especially if they did it out of a place of ignorance. And I don't mean that as an insult. That's just they weren't knowledgeable on the subject. Because I've seen a lot of keycap sets, and I'm like, whoa, that's dope. And then I'll send it to somebody, and they'll be like, that's a GMK set from 5 years ago that's been cloned. You know, you bought 3 in the last month. I've bought 3 in the last 12 hours. But hang on. Let's see here.
It was a pleasure talking and watching your stream.
Likewise, man. Thanks for dropping in and sharing your opinion. Come back anytime, man.
Yeah, man. You'll see me around. I'm pretty new to the community as well, so Later.
Later. So when it comes to desk mats, I've actually gotten to the point now where I've got to get another rack, and I have probably another 12 desk mats ordered. I've got 5 on my desk right now. So yeah, the call-in show. The hotline is open, guys. Call 1-800 something. So yeah, so desk mats are probably my favorite thing to collect, just because you can get a nice desk mat for 30-40 bucks at the most, and you know, so that's something that's easily accessible. And if you don't necessarily want to dump the money on a GMK set, you can buy the desk mat that accompanies it for not much. And like, even so, like, that's another alternative. People that are out buying clones, they can go buy the desk mat for the set and help support the actual artist, and still, do their clone thing. I mean, a lot of these designers probably have, tip websites like Buy Me a Coffee, where you can go and throw them some money. Like, there's a nerdcore artist, people have probably heard of him, MC Chris. He's done a lot of things on Adult Swim. Haven't been to his site in years, still like his music, but he used to have a thing on his site. I don't see it here, but there's a thing where, yeah, it used to be a thing where it was like, feel guilty about just stealing my music online? Feel free to donate here. And I'm not even showing the screen, sorry. So he used to have on his site just a thing where you could just donate money on PayPal if you wanted to support, because that's, an indie music artist, nerdcore artist. Yeah, so right here. So if you feel like donating, but it used to be worded differently, and it was pretty hilarious. But so yeah. So I mean, there is things that can be done. People that go out and do this kind of stuff could absolutely just throw some money to the designer, throw them $10, because likely they're not even making $10 off of a keycap set. The amount of time that goes into designing a keycap set is a lot more than people want to accept. For instance, color matching takes time, designing the artwork takes time, organizing everything is a logistics nightmare, I'd imagine. It's not as simple as loading up a program, picking out colors, and then sending it off to GMK. There's a lot more work that goes into that, and there's a lot of time that goes into this. And the fact that these, yeah, hop on in here, Project. The fact that these particular counterfeit companies don't have to do any of that work, and they can just go and look at the renders, steal it, and produce it, is the reason they're able to get them out so quick. They don't have to do any actual work. So, yeah. Project, did you want to go on video or no?
Yeah, sure. I mean, let me make my hair look all nice real quick. Hold on.
Okay, you do that. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, and I'm gonna throw up Be Right Back screen, and we'll throw on some nerdcore music for everybody. Let's see.
Nerdcore.
I love nerdcore.
I'm an island boy. Just trying to make it.
Oh wow. Yeah, it doesn't take long for Project to get me laughing. That's for sure.
I'm an island boy.
Now you can have an expert do your taxes for you. 100% free.
I love you, man. I'll be right back, guys. Had to restart Chrome. No. Hammer Brother, are you still here? There we go. Now we should be back live.
Yes, you're good now.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. A little hiccup in the interwebs there. Let's change this over to...
Let's see how my room looks. Oh, hang on. I gotta close the OBS. Give me a second. Oh, that's not a good... I mean, that is a good view, but... Not of me. Okay, that's cool. It looks okay, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. Looks better than the pile of boxes in the corner of my screen. Let's see. Pop this out. Oops. Boom. There we go. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Average Baby Tater? Welcome.
Average Baby Tater, hello.
We're having a little... Wow, why am I backwards? Okay.
I'm
Just
just
that for
moving
right
some
now.
stabs while we talk.
Alright, so we're having a little impromptu discussion on clones. Anyone that's in chat is more than welcome to join my stream. Baby Tater says hey to you there, Project. Here's my Discord. Feel
Hello,
free,
Baby
guys.
Tater.
We are just in the general chat channel there, voice channel, if you want to hop in, put in your 2 cents worth.
Baby Tater.
Join the discussion. So for those that did not see, today was the posting today? Well, Ghost Keyboards has pretty much ripped off Magic Girl, and
Really?
yes, and they're presenting it as their own. A lot of people in the hobby went and spoke out against it on their Instagram posts, and now they're getting blocked and their comments deleted. So today it got me thinking about things that we as a community can do to try and fight back against this and against these bad actors in the hobby. So I was thinking, what's going on, Shandon? So I was thinking that an approach to it would be, say, the grassroots activism approach, where we start a petition, then we get members of the community that want to stand up for what's right and stop, try to do something to stop this and speak out. To sign the petition, we'll do an email template that can be copied and pasted and sent to like Shopify, BigCommerce, these platforms that are hosting these sites, because Shopify has a way to report vendors that are selling counterfeit and intellectual property theft stuff. And if we get enough people, hopefully that'll, at least get their stores shut down. It's not going to stop them from selling, but it's going to make things difficult for them. I don't know how other people think about this. A few people that I've discussed it with were all on board. So, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take a little planning and organization, like any kind of grassroots activism campaign would. But if anyone has other alternatives, how old do you have to be to sign a petition? I don't think there's any particular age. I'd have to check with one of the petition websites what their rules and regulations
I think you
are.
have to be 16 and over.
I know depending on what the petition is for is what's gonna determine. If it's something that involves laws being changed, you're probably gonna have to be of voting age. But for something like this, I don't know. I guess it just really depends on what that particular petition's requirements are. So, how do you feel about that, Project? What's your stance on clones? And I have nothing to drink here. What's your stance on clones? Where do you fall on it? What side of the fence are you on? Are you a clone supporter or a clones are bad guys such as myself?
I do not support clones. I do not think, but I would never rock a clone, but that's because like I don't understand why you would spend, you know, $300 on a keyboard and then spend $25 on keycaps that are not even real. It's not even like the real design. It's a knockoff design, and they're not going to be that great. And you're throwing it on such an expensive keyboard. I never really saw the point with that. Now, if you just bought a, you know, what's like a really inexpensive board, like the board was like
A GK61 or
yeah, maybe not even that expensive, maybe even less expensive than that, then I would understand why you don't want to spend, you know, $100 on keycaps. I remember when I first entered in the hobby, I saw keycaps that were $100, and I was like, who in the fuck pays this?
Yeah, I think everybody feels that way at first.
But I've spent $300 on keycaps that I really wanted now.
Yeah.
So you start understanding. It's just, in my mind, most of the people that buy knockoff stuff aren't really in the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah,
and if they are in the hobby and they're still spending their money on that knockoff stuff, then, you know, you can't stop it. You know, you can't stop it. It's not illegal.
It is.
Well, it is illegal. However, no one really cares.
We may not be able to stop it, but if we can make things difficult for the people that are doing it.
I think the smartest way to stop it is actually going on right now. Look at all of the sets that Canon keys, novel keys, all of them are rocking out these really nice high quality keycaps that are, you know, $70, $80, $90. I think that's the smartest way to stop it, because now you have so many options.
Well,
where yeah, it might cost you $70, but a knockoff set might be $50. You're spending $20 more and you're getting an original, you know, set that's going to be way nicer than a knockoff would be. I think in my mind, that's the best way to combat this, is make more sets readily available at a low cost, and that'll kind of make other people shy away from knockoffs. And you know what else is even a smarter idea than that is like a Hero, right?
Right. Authorized
with the original runner and said, hey, we want to run this. Is it okay? Now, it's like an authentic knockoff, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's not a knockoff. It's ran by the same person, but it's a really healthy
option. It's a cheaper alternative.
If you really wanted it and you weren't able to get on the group buy, now it's going to be readily available in stock and it's going to be authentic. Yeah, I think that's the best way that we can combat it personally.
Yeah, it's not
stop it, make it look not that great.
Yeah, it's definitely not a knockoff. It's authorized, you know. Yes. So yeah, and hopefully, like, this is something I've been saying for a long time. These designers need to go to these PBT manufacturers, and they need to manufacture PBT, because people like me, and I know Hammer Brother, Gioran, we all, for some reason, whatever it may be, we tend to shine ABS really quick. Like this set here has got shine on WASD and some of the keys, and I only use this keycap set for a month at the most, and it's already shined up. Like, I start getting shine within a week. But what I would say in rebuttal to that is, all your fried chickens, What? Excuse me. Thought Thumbs, was it you that put the comment on an order about sending a piece of fried chicken? I've been wondering for months who that was. Oh, Shine, got you. Okay. No, I think it's actually due to dry skin. But my rebuttal to that is there already is cheaper alternative original sets. There's tons of $25 sets on Taobao that are probably higher quality than these knockoffs to begin with. You know, there's nothing in this hobby is a necessity. You don't have to have that Striker colorway. You don't have to have that Olivia colorway. You know? I don't know.
I understand what you mean. There are a lot of cheaper sets out right now that are $20, $25. But I don't think you should have to sacrifice looks because you don't want to buy clones. And I think that's what I meant by right now they're really starting to come out with really nice ones. Because now, because most of the stuff that I see for $25 is ugly as fuck. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I would never put it on. I wouldn't even put it on my work board. You know, it just doesn't look good. In my opinion.
I've got some cheap sets that I bought for like ortho splits and stuff that don't look bad. But yeah, you're right. A lot of it does look bad. But there is some gems out there if you look through it. Let me go grab a water. I'll be right back. Continue to voice your opinion if you feel the desire, or talk about whatever you want. Plug your channel. Guys, if you haven't checked out my homie here, Project Patrick, you need to hit him with a follow. Here's a shout out for you. Is there anybody else that needs a shout out in chat? I don't think we ever shouted out Hammer. Hammer brother should have done a shout out himself. Let's shout out Frank.
Hammer.
Get right back, guys.
All the goats. But yeah, I don't support clones. That's just because I think if you're trying to, I like to like snap photos of my stuff and make it look really good. And I think if you're rocking a knockoff and it's not real and you're trying to like, you know, snap a photo on Instagram, I think it just makes you look fucking stupid, personally.
Yeah, but with this current trend of supporting clones,
I don't think a lot of people are supporting clones.
They damn sure are on RMK. Go on Mechanical Keyboard on one of those clone posts and say something bad about clones and see if you don't catch 100 downvotes.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm still putting my opinion out there, taking them downvotes and keeping it moving. But yeah,
there's so many alternatives. So Prop has their artifact line, actually really good, really nice stuff, and it's only $45, and I really like them.
Yeah,
that's
and
a really good example of. I mean, they actually are really nice. I've used them before. I think they sound really good. They actually look really good.
Did you see Mode's post today? Mode Designs post?
Yeah, they're gonna be coming out with some really nice original sets.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's what I think is the best way.
The thing is, the price point
think once
is
that
going to
starts
be
happening more, it's going to stop.
Yeah. And like, I've tried to get up with Infinikey and can't get a response. I don't know how to get in touch with keyboard manufacturers. I would like to offer some in-stock keyboards or keycap sets at some point.
Yeah.
So try to
like
good on you, Achu.
And writing on what you said also. I don't like ABS. I've only owned one ABS set in my whole lifetime as in the hobby. I just don't like how they sound. I don't like how they feel. So yeah, I'm all about IFK, EPBT. I'm all about all of that. So that's why I'm really happy with what's going on right now.
Yeah.
With the OL, Hero, all of them are. I'm really excited about all that because that's all the stuff that I've wanted to have on my keyboards, but it's all been ABS, so I haven't haven't even been interested in them.
Yeah. So I'm the same way. I do buy. Oh, who got timed out there? Here, Baby Tater, I'm gonna permit you to post your link. If anybody wants to post a link, just ask. If you're a VIP subscriber or a mod, you can post links without being permitted. There you go, Baby Tater. You've got 1 minute to post that link. Yeah, sorry, I lost my whole train of thought there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and deny that everything that's happened from these clone explosions is bad. I mean, there are good things that have happened. You know, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute here. I mean, it has reduced the price for people that can't afford it. For one, it has brought attention and notoriety to some of the designers that probably wouldn't be known by people that aren't in the hobby, you know, because when they see cloned, they might go, you know, the average person may not, or they may go and do a little research into the actual thing. And there's just, it's not all bad. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't have to not support. This is a nice set for $36. Wow. Assuming that the legends look good. I mean, this looks good as long as it's not a render. Yeah, for 30, yeah. That's a steal there, average Baby Tater.
Hook on a drop at
Yeah, drop as
the
sure.
artifact ones that they have real quick.
All right.
They have some gorgeous ones. They're only $45,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
actually nice. Like I've actually owned them, and I've really liked them.
So, oh yeah, these are nice colorways.
Yeah, like they're actually nice, and they're so cheap.
That one's kind of reminiscent of other things, but I feel like Drop.
Yeah.
I feel like Drop has ran a lot of these colorways in their original, so they're probably not technically what you would consider a clone or a counterfeit, seeing as how
Oh
they
my
probably
God.
ran the colorway originally. It's too generic. You got some of those, and they're not the most crisp, but you do quite like them. Yeah, so like I got Seal the other day. Let me go grab this real quick. So let me switch scenes real quick. So I got Seal the other day, and I did an unboxing video, as I do with most things I get in the hobby. And Seal was the most disappointing polycap set yet, and I am going to be returning it.
So, just adding on to this, I think this is another problem. So, Seal, and I mean like octopus and seal,
Whale, corn.
whale. Me personally, I've never liked any of those keycaps. I've never really been interested in them. Now, everyone on Instagram hyping them up. These are gonna be so awesome. And
Yes,
I'm just
Kinetic
thinking
Labs
to
is
my-
spending the money. So.
Exactly. So these are probably cost them like not even $20 a set to make, and they're pumping it out for how much are they, like $80?
65.
Okay, I mean, I don't know who manufactured these, but I think they need to find a new manufacturer.
Yeah, I think they're probably this set was double shot, whereas the others have been PBT. Die sub, excuse me, not P, well, they all been PBT. Rather nice. So Elderberry, I have an unboxing video of Elderberry. I put that on the board I built my sister for her birthday. Great set.
Yes.
There's definitely a lot of good alternatives. These are going back to Kinetic Labs. I was disappointed. check out my YouTube video if you want to see my initial reaction. If you haven't, check out my YouTube channel. Do a little shameless self-plug there. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, did you see the announcement I made on the content channel yesterday? Why is that not working? There we go. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway here pretty soon. Little Keyboards. They're out of Wilmington, North Carolina. They're not far from me. He has shipped me a corn keyboard with a really nice corn case. I think the carrying case is coming with it. He's including excuse me, I just ate. He's including, here, I'll show you on stream real quick. So this is the case that he's sending me. He's sending me the controller case. He's sending me this wood walnut switch plate. For the base, yeah, for the base plate, he sent me a powder coated stainless steel base plate for it. He sent these milk switches, which are a palm switch with an white stem. He sent the taro color.
Okay.
I don't know if he sent keycaps, and whatever he sends I'm happy with, but it should be a complete build. Everything but keycaps. I believe he's sending a carrying case. I don't know that for certain, so don't hold me to it if I don't have that for the giveaway. I won't know until it'll probably arrive tomorrow.
Is that a kit where you have to solder everything in?
So I'm gonna be building that next week. Shandon.
Oh, okay. So you're building it and then giving it away, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the way I'm gonna be doing it, it's not gonna be my usual on-stream giveaway. What I'm gonna do is build it next week, and then afterwards. Hey, how's it going? Hello, this is Two Mises. Anybody in chat? Anybody in chat, please feel free to come and join us on Discord. I definitely want to hear more people's opinions on this. But I'm doing it a little different. Excuse me. I'm doing it a little different than I do my usual giveaways. I'm going to do the Instagram giveaway. So what we're going to do is after the build is over, after the stream, I'll post it on Instagram. You'll have to go follow me, follow Little Keyboards, tag a few friends, and then the following week, which I believe is the 2nd, will be the end time. Hey, what's going on, Shandon? Shandon created the Flagon 60. It unfortunately didn't meet its number. It didn't meet MOQ for the group I to be done, but the board I just held up was a Flagon 60. It was a pretty sweet 60% stacked acrylic board. So the giveaway is going to go, there will be 6 days essentially, because at the point I posted it'll be 6 days before the next stream. So it'll be 6 days on Instagram for people to join, and then we'll select the winner on stream with the I can't remember what the website's called right now, but the one that they use for Instagram raffles. So, and as long as the winner meets the requirements, the winner will get the complete built board. All they'll need to do is throw some keycaps on it.
That's a pretty good giveaway if you ask me.
Yeah, especially considering it's about $200 for the whole thing, I believe, on the site.
That's
I need to go through and check it out, but hey, I'm kind of stoked on doing that. Also, another giveaway I have coming up soon is Kirball. They also have done some sponsorship stuff, and I'm an affiliate with them. If you decide to purchase things at Kirball, use Kirball at checkout. It'll save you a little money. It'll support me. They have a new PCB coming out. It's the big ass motherfucking keyboard. So if you're familiar with Kale and Novel Keys Big Switch, this is a new PCB for the Big Switch, the BA-MFK1. So the big ass motherfucking keyboard 1%. It's got support for 2 rotary encoders. It's got LEDs. And there is a 3D printed case that will be offered eventually, or will either be open sourced. I'm not sure, but I have a couple prototypes of those coming. One of those is going to be my personal one. One of them I'm going to give away. I've actually bought big switches, so we'll give away a big ass motherfucking keyboard, 1%. So a couple giveaways coming up. So yeah. So I'm trying to give back to the community as best I can. How are you doing tonight, Shandon? What you got in the works? You want to talk about the clones? You want to tell us about your project you're working on there, which I don't know if anybody else is looking forward to it, but I am.
We could talk about clones first. So, I think the problem is that it's not as big a deal as people paint it to be. Like, yes, it is. So, I don't think that an artist owns a colorway, and I don't think that they should be the only ones to produce those caps. But when you blatantly state the name of that original keycap set in your sales descriptions on AliExpress or on whatever insert Shopify page here, that is directly infringing on their creative property, because you are then trying to take their customer base, their clientele, all the work that they've done to market themselves and stuff. You're trying to take all that, and so that's a problem. Now that being said, like I said, I guess going back to the, I think it's very commonly said as, oh, well, those colors belong to that set. Well, no. And there's been plenty of sets that are based on these same colors, but yet are still pretty different. Rather it be because of its novelties, or rather it be because of its overall kits and things that it offers, or collaborations that came out when that set came out.
Yeah.
So somebody doesn't own a colorway, but I don't, and as far as I know, I've never seen anybody in the community saying explicitly like, oh, you shouldn't be able to do that set because somebody else does that colorway. I mean, if you think about it, like the 909 colorway is very popular, and now every manufacturer has a 909 colorway. Like JTK has one, GMK has one. I'm not sure who else.
MTK probably does. MT3 probably does. Signature
IFK
Plastics probably does.
Sure.
And nobody's. I don't think anybody here is defending that people own colorways. But it's when they take the name. It's when they label it GMK.
Now that is 100% wrong for a variety of reasons. Like, one, like, you're definitely not manufacturing those with GMK. For one. And then for two, like I said, you're really literally taking their work. Like, they did all the effort, all that time. They've built up the community behind it, so that way, if somebody else sees the name of it out there somewhere, they're just like, oh, this must be the original set. So that is kind of problematic. Yeah. And that's kind of my take on clones. Like, I don't mind if somebody like takes inspiration from a set. I think that we've gotten a lot of really good sets based on it. But outright taking somebody's content, now that taking somebody's property, now that is wrong. And I think we do see that on r/mk, but to be honest, how many people that are really involved in the community are on r/mk? Because I think I haven't posted there in well over a year. I think sometimes I go through just to see a certain set when it drops, because I'm curious, what does it look like on actual builds? Like, now that I know a set is shipping, what does it look like? And I'll debate whether I want to get the extras or something, but I don't legitimately go on there to really see cool stuff. To do that, I look at people's Discords where they have the post channels. Like, I'm a really big fan of Alex Otis's Discord channel, because there's so many people that talk about, like, those photos and stuff, and there's such a community there where people are talking about that stuff. And there's also the keyboard builders Discord, and that's where I see like cool and interesting stuff. Like, hey, I tried out these switches. Like, there's a switch modding Discord that I'm a part of, and I see people doing weird stuff, weird Franken switches, and so it's really cool. So I think those spaces are kind of where I want to see creativity and ingenuity, and I think that r/mk is more, unfortunately, it's become more of like a hype beast program or platform where it's just, hey, look at,
and that's just,
look at this aesthetic, and oh, you want these caps? Well, you can't get them, and then so somebody's gonna look it up, and then they just see, well, yeah, I can get them. Like, it says that this website has them, and they don't know any different. So I think that leads to exposure in a way for those like, rip-off manufacturers, for those clones. But at the same time, I don't know if we can take the people who are on r/GMK saying, "Oh, this GMK set should be $10." Seriously, because
So
The amount of work that these designers and stuff are actually putting in for what they're actually getting out of it is not an equal trade-off. They put a lot of time in, and they're not making the money. The vendors are the ones making the money. So I'm guessing that's a clone of Laser. It looks like a clone of Laser, right? This Echo set here, Neon. Is that a Laser clone?
yeah.
So I bought Laser Synthwave, which is actually Laser. You can buy that right now in stock on Amazon or from Drop. Here, I'll post a link for anyone that's interested. So it's, I lost my whole train of thought.
So like, while I still have it on my mind, you had mentioned. Oh shit! My daughter walked in. Hold on, real quick, guys.
Okay, no worries.
Go Bub. Go Bub.
oh well. Well,
So,
Hey, call me Crop.
call me Crop.
Uh,
Yo, okay, so
Sorry, the in this scene, unfortunately, my alert box is not here because this is one of my YouTube scenes. But Crop, thanks for the raid. Thanks for hanging out. Welcome, Raiders. We're just having an open discussion platform. We're talking about clones, how we feel about it, what we think we can do as a community, etc.
so what was your?
I don't-
What were you saying?
I don't remember what sparked this in my mind, but someone was speaking about the Owl Lab Spring, right? And they were like, why was it only in stock for 20 minutes if they still had more? Like, I want to say in stock they had like 2,000 units and they sold like 800. But after 20 minutes it stopped. And I was just explaining, well, in our hobby, if it's in stock for an hour, hour and a half or so, it's not considered high-end anymore. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
If it's in stock for that long, it's not like, oh, I really want that. I really want that. Because you can just go out and buy it. I mean, it's been on the site for an hour. Whereas when stuff is like instantly out of stock, it gets hyped. It gets worth more than what it is. It's considered high-end. This is a good set. And I think that happens a lot more than we realize it does.
I think
mean-
what Owl Labs was trying to do with that most recent drop is just that is their way of preventing an instant kind of sellout. Is, hey, we're gonna release it in waves, so that way you have a greater chance. Because as somebody who's been in on, and I'm sure all of us in this chat have been in on one of those buys where it's like you were sitting there at the exact minute, and before you could even, finish your PayPal sequence or whatever, like the kit sold out. Like I have the frog on my desk, for example, and that was I entered the raffle twice. Second time I actually won it, but the first time, yeah, like I refreshed the page just a second too late, I suppose, and they were already sold out. Every color, every option. And with something like that, they were releasing, like 100 plus units at a time, practically every month, and that was like hard. So I think maybe that was Owl Labs' way of trying to prevent that sort of sellout, that sort of disappointment, because that is like a big thing that people always complain about. They're like, well, why don't you do something more so to help in that regard? Like, it's gonna sell out, like why don't you release, and that's one of the common things that people suggest. And if I was selling kits that sold out in matter of seconds, that's probably what I would do. I would just say, hey, starting at this time, we're gonna release units, and we're going to release units until, at several points until they sell out, and I wouldn't disclose any other times. And that would just be, hey, if you really want it, you're going to be checking in and seeing and potentially have a greater chance than the person that's just like, okay, well, I'll sit here for 10 minutes, see if I can get one of these boards, even though I don't want it, because I'm just going to sell it on, r/MK, on, Mech Market as soon as I get it in my possession. And unfortunately, we see that like even with kits like the frog that are supposed to ship on a regular basis. Like when people finally get their frog, they go up on Mech Market because they're like, oh, I got this frog, or oh, I got this, and you can get it like right now, and people are buying a frog and a frog which is supposed to be a very affordable keyboard that's available and affordable. You've got them selling for hundreds more than they're worth, and like even from Gian himself, he's like, yeah, they're not worth it. Like, this kit isn't meant to be a high end TKL. It's meant to be a nice TKL that's readily available to some degree. So maybe
I gotta say though, quickly, I'll they haven't made an official announcement why they cut short the sale. So there could be a lot of different reasons, but my thought was that they fucked up their round 1 Mr. Suit, fucked up their round 2 Mr. Suit sale. I think they're just trying to be careful with another fuck up. It could be many different reasons, but that's my point of take. But going back to what were we talking about? The keycaps and copycats and
Clones and counterfeiters.
Yeah.
Man, this is just such a difficult topic because it covers so much different layers of like the vendors, the designers, manufacturers, and most importantly, consumers like us. But then even in consumers, there's so many different levels of consumers, correct? It's not just us who's getting MX based MX style mechanical keyboard. There are there's so many other communities who are getting into this, including Mac computer users these days. Thanks to Keychron and other companies who are making mechanical keyboards, they can take other MX style keycaps, aftermarket keycaps. Are they gonna go find the group buy and join the GMK group buy? No. Do they know a website called Novel Keys and Divinity Keys, all that stuff? Probably not. They're just gonna go to Amazon and buy $25 keycaps that's gonna look good for them. Are we gonna fight that somehow? Probably it's not in our power, unfortunately. Does the artist have any power? Probably not. They don't have money. Does vendors care? Nope. Manufacturers care? Nope. So is it gonna happen? Yes. However, I think the attitude towards this topic has been always kind of either really against it or really for it. I see a lot of the movement towards, the copycats are fine because that's what those are the sets that we can actually buy. And I think I totally understand that point of view too, and I see that a lot in Reddit mechanical keyboard subreddit, and I totally get it. But I also don't want people to be so like.
You don't want the gatekeeping elitism.
Right. I just want people to be a little bit understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
if there's a really good set of GMK, whatever GMK said, and it ran like 2 years ago, and they're not making it anymore, not even on like a cheaper copy or whatever, is it really bad that someone who just got into hobby don't want to pay $500 for a set, but instead going with $40 set from Amazon that looks kind of like it, even though maybe the quality is not that good?
Yeah.
But and also, like, who do we to say that, oh yeah, if you're getting copy from Amazon, the quality is bad. Like, but I almost see that as kind of like gatekeeping too, right? Oh yeah, you're not worthy of getting this GMK set because one, you're not in the hobby all the way, you haven't been around for long enough, you don't have the money to buy it. So like, I don't want that to, like, on a personal level, I am totally against it. I am not going to go out and buy it. I'm not going to support that kind of company or behavior. But at the same time, it takes time for people to learn. And for small number of people who are in this in this Discord and people who are watching this stream right now, we are in deeper than majority of people who are using mechanical keyboard in this world. So we're like probably like less than 2% of all those mechanical keyboard owners. So thinking about that, we cannot really be hostile or toxic towards those people who really have no other options.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess I don't think anybody, nobody worth note in the community is being hostile about it. I think that it's important to, educate people, like if they're coming into the hobby and if they know it. But I think nobody's arguing that there shouldn't be like cheaper alternative for sets. Like I'm all about it. Like if somebody wants to make a, for example, like let's talk about as simple as it gets. I have a black on white set on my desk right now. So a black on white set, right? You don't need to buy a GMK black on white set. And there are plenty of people that produce them out there, but if there was something like, let's say whoever made the original black and white set had these novelties or something, and then that's copied, and specifically like whatever naming scheme they gave to the set, I think that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about we're not talking about the availability or there being a set out there or there being a set that's close to it. We're talking about the blatant copying of someone's like naming, somebody's art, somebody's design. They spent time on it. And I get what you're saying, that if you're new to the hobby, you know, if you're new to the community, you're not going to know about it. I mean, I was new at one point. I didn't know who GMK was. I didn't know I didn't know that people named these sets. I didn't know the individuals created them. I thought that they were just companies that made them, just like there were companies that made mechanical keyboards, right? I thought that was the whole process. That was it. But I think it's like important to note, like especially those of us that are enthusiasts in the community, to make sure that we're taking the time to recognize that the blatant copying of somebody's intellectual property is wrong, regardless to the financial reasons behind it. And that way, you know, when he does get in deep, they do know. Like practically all of us have probably bought a clone set and not known it when we were starting out. Probably all of us have bought, you know, some set that just wasn't good quality. You know, those are mistakes, and that's okay. And I think that's fine. But I think it's like, you know, if you're active in the community, then I think it's, you know, inappropriate. I think that's kind of what we're overall getting at.
Right. So I think most people who are like, when I say who's like really deep into this hobby, they already know about this issue. And I don't think once you're in deep enough, I don't think any of those people that I've met at least have promoted or supported this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
But I think so. I guess my point, the point that I wanted to make is, yes, it's wrong, but because I've seen such a harsh negative reaction to certain things, like when someone posts like a photo of a copy, like our initial reaction shouldn't be very negative. Like maybe this person doesn't know. In most cases, like you said, they don't know. People just don't know. I didn't know. So it shouldn't be so negative. I think being negative and hostile towards those people will only push them away further from them getting deep. On top of that, 99% of these people who are, you know, using these things, they have zero intention of getting into a hobby as much as we do. They're not going to go out and buy a $500 keyboard. They're never going to do a $200 group buy. This small group of people that we hang out with on Twitch, we are a type of people who, when they get into something, we're just going deep. It doesn't matter if it's keyboard or whatever, any other hobby that you had in your life. You notice you jump in,
dive in head first.
100%.
Yeah.
Is it camera gear? You're buying shit tons of camera gears and all that shit. You know, like whatever it is. So like,
just start burning your money now.
No, I think you know, kind of what you're touching on is kind of in a way a separate issue. Like, you know, we're talking about clones, and I think we can all agree that clones are bad for a variety of reasons. Like if you're in the community, you know that. But then we're talking about, you know, how the community responds to people. And so, you know, hopefully, like I've never heard any streamer, any you know, quote unquote big keyboard streamer, or anybody that even has a small community streaming, say, oh, you know, you're the worst for, you know, buying clones. Like I feel like all of them have recognized that it's that for some it simply is just a price game, and they're like, okay, but they all kind of have the same opinion you have, where you're like, yeah, I would never buy them, but I'm also not going to necessarily shit on somebody for you know, buying them. And I think that's important. But unfortunately, you know, we only see the you know, the extremes,
the worst. You're right.
And you know, like you're on Reddit, and somebody who is like, oh, well, that's a clone set, but I would never buy one. They're just going to keep scrolling. But the person that's like the toxic person that's like, oh no, you're the worst, like they're going to take the time out of their day to comment on this post for no reason. And then everybody else that's like them is going to upvote or, you know, reply to that. So I just think that's important, that we just don't We just don't take that into account. Like we just ignore
Right.
it. Like, because that's what anybody who's gonna do. Like, I've seen clone sets on r/MK, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna keep on scrolling. Like, I might still like the photo if it's a good setup photo, but that's it. Like, it doesn't need to be any deeper than that.
Let me take 30 seconds. Let me let everybody know who everybody is in this chat, because there's probably people that have no idea. Right here to my, left on the screen, this is Shandon. He did a group buy for Flygon 60. This is Flygon 60. He customized one for me. Unfortunately, it didn't reach group buy. He has some other projects in the works. We'll let him talk about that at some point if he wants. Down here we got Project Builds X. He is another streamer. Is avid non-user of condoms. Can't seem to stop making kids. And down here below me is Frank Inamushiki, Batman. Everybody knows this guy. Mod to the masses.
Hey.
Mod to the masses. How's it going,
Call Me
Pinga?
Crop
Pinga?
says something. Also, some people might prefer PBT over ABS and vice versa. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I prefer
There's a-
PBT.
I fucking hate ABS. I don't know why people use it, but whatever.
Like I said, I'm in balls deep into the collectivity of things, so I buy GMK sets that just sit in the box because if I use ABS, it shines up within a week. And I prefer the sound of PBT all day, every day, but just some of those amazing sets you're not gonna get if you don't buy GMK.
Yeah. So
Which is dumb. But whatever.
well, speaking of
it's
I mean, I get it, because the one thing I can say about GMK, like, you can complain about their lead times, you can complain about, minor issues here and there, but I will say over all the sets they have produced, they are incredibly consistent. Like, I don't worry about the quality of a GMK set. The only thing I've worried about from a GMK set is the color match. And that has nothing to do with GMK. That's up to the designer saying, yeah, that's great, and GMK pushing it on through. And we've seen that.
Yeah.
And and it's not like that's even a GMK unique problem. We've seen that with other manufacturers.
And that's a
I'm
problem.
not gonna list any
goes-
names, but yeah, so I will say that. So all the and I have a good number of GMK sets. I don't have a super lot because I'm still waiting on group buy for a lot of them, but I haven't entered a GMK group buy since August of last year, and it's because their queue has gotten so long. And I just, at this point, I'm following kind of what Yura does. And Yura said this, she said this like a year ago when I was watching her stream. She said, I don't buy group buy sets
I wait for
anymore. She goes,
extras.
I wait for extras. She's like, and if I miss out on extras, I miss out.
Yeah,
And I was like, that's really insightful, and especially because there's so many in-stock options, and there's so many just options in general for other group buy items that, I guarantee you, if you see a color way that you like, unless it's incredibly unique, like, for example, Dracula, incredibly unique. Like, practically every color in that set was custom. I mean, that's why it took so long. Like, the color matching took so long because there's so many custom colors. But, like, if you have a set that's like, I don't know, like a beige set, I guarantee you there's going to be another beige set released, rather it's in stock or rather it's through another manufacturer in a year. Like, one I really like is Hamon, but and I know Red Devils is like a close one too, but I didn't even go in for the round 2 of Hamon because it's gonna take an eternity to get to me, and by that time I'm sure somebody else is gonna release a nice white on red set that's like in stock somewhere. So Red Devils does look pretty good. I saw your unboxing video about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would like
so-
to buy that off you.
Message me. We can talk.
I am a Korean, so I have the full right to that keyboard set.
So yeah, for the guy that wouldn't sell me the Dojacons yesterday, come on now. So sorry, this is my webcam, not my good camera. Let me switch it over so you can get a little bit better.
I got in on the Hubble
Dojacons.
55 group buy, and my Hubble is red, and I don't have a red set yet, so...
It's a beautiful red.
Yeah, look at that.
So-
bright,
Like this is an
bright
example.
red.
Like this is
Crisp.
something,
Pretty.
a color that you're not gonna get outside of a GMK set.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You know, like-
those are Korean. Hey, what if I give you what if I
He's
send
got
you
a
a
hard
photo
on
of,
right. He's like
photo of
rubbing his pants right now.
yeah,
Really
I have a
good.
photo from
Um,
2002 when Korea went to World Cup semifinal. If I show you that photo, will you sell the set to me? I have a clippings from newspaper from 2012. No, 2014, 2018. Fuck, I don't remember.
I'm gonna take it a
I got
step
a bunch
further.
of photos
here.
of me in those exactly red blue colors.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it a step further here. So I got
Ooh,
Arama.
I got
Rama.
the blue one too.
Yeah.
I want him the green
and the
one.
Salvin.
Ooh. Fancy.
So
Uh,
obviously,
Oh, that's nice.
I did not
Cool.
get these via the group buy. As a vendor myself, I managed to get relationships with other vendors. So occasionally I do have access to extras before the group buy goes live, which Shandon, I helped him get mat, or offered to get the mat for him, and he waited for the group buy. But and
Yeah.
you know, and people like Frank and myself, people that are doing content, these vendors will sometimes allow us to get things early because it helps to promote the items, stuff like that. I mean, prototypes, extras. So it never hurts if you know extras are coming. Don't be afraid to reach out to these vendors, because a lot of vendors will be more than happy to sell it to you before the drop.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. I really want, but I guess back to, I guess we kind of talked about like some of the quality of sets. So that's one thing I definitely can say about GMK that I can't say about any other manufacturer really to this point. Like from what I understand, JTK is also really good. I have my first JTK set coming, so I'll see. But yeah, that's one thing I can say like about my GMK sets is they are crisp, they are really nice. It's like I feel like I definitely got my money's worth in a set, and I can't say that about some of these other newer manufacturers that have popped up. Like, for example, I don't know if any of you have IFK veneer.
I don't have that one.
No.
But I have IFK veneer, and I'm incredibly disappointed. I kind of don't even really want to use it, but like, because the legends and stuff, like it's crisp. Like they did a really good job, and they're die subbed, so did a really good job. Like it looks really nice on top of the keycap, but the sides looks very washed out, and the color is not saturated through. And in my opinion, that should have never passed QC. And it looks really bad, especially like the board I have it on. I'm just sitting there glaring at that space bar, and it looks really bad because obviously space bar is huge, and so it looks very bad.
Aether.
I love IFK, but
I wish I'd have kept my Aether set. I'm still kicking myself
yeah,
for that.
yeah. I've got a IFK Aether on here. I love IFK Aether.
I have
But
the
will
Switch
agree,
Swirl Death Mat still, but
but like it was mentioned earlier, I think a lot of it is the vendor as well. If they would have looked over some stuff and been like, "Hey, this isn't saturated right. You need to resaturate everything," then maybe it would have.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it would have been held back another month, but maybe you would be more happy with what you received.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And so I know there's like other manufacturers, and I want to give them a chance because I want there to be more manufacturers. I want there to be more options, and that's why I've tried stuff from different manufacturers. But I do think, like, unfortunately, it seems like with IFK, I've heard quite a few people, quite a few different sets have issues, and so that's problematic. Where it's like it doesn't seem like it's an isolated incident, and it, especially when there's only one vendor vending like that set, it's like, oh, okay, like it seems pretty consistent that that QC is kind of non-existent, unfortunately. And it really sucks because it's like, oh man, I want to give them this shot. Like I bought the IFK, like I bought it at extras, so I paid even more than what you'd pay in the group buy, because I was like, oh, it looks really good, it's gonna be really great, and kind of disappointed, and it kind of makes me now want to buy another set.
If you
of
ever
IFK for a while.
if you ever get something
I
you're
don't know
disappointed
about
with,
Huh?
if you ever get something you're disappointed with, reach out to the vendor, and they'll take it back normally.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could have. I don't think it was like, for me, it wasn't like that big a deal where it's like, quote unquote, I want my money back. Maybe if there was like some
Nah.
blatant stuff, but it is disappointing. Especially, I did buy it with 2 colors to the alphas, so they had like an alternate alpha set. So, and it's like a white. So I was like, okay, ultimately, if I do get tired of looking at the dye sub on the green, I do still have the white alphas, which will.
Oh, yeah, I have this set.
Yeah. But anyway,
Okay.
I don't know about you all with other manufacturers, but so far I have tried, like I said, I have JTK on the way, but obviously I've tried GMK. I've had IFK veneer. I've had like the poly caps, which now they're going through a different manufacturer for seal, but I have 2 of the previous sets before that manufacturer change.
Fuck that shit.
I have.
So-
The thing is, I was really disappointed in seal. Like I was watching Alex Otis. Yeah.
So this
so
the
like
set.
look at the side. Look at the side of one of the green ones. Like look at the bottom.
Yeah,
See what I'm
where
saying?
that's
Like, you can see it
because
from the top.
if they were 5-sided die sub, it wouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
And
it's
that's
like
that's a super common thing with the die sub sets
Mhm.
from IFK. He's talking about that fade there where it
Yeah.
fades down, and
so.
doesn't have
Yeah, it
color
might be a
on
little
it.
bit hard to.
But
see
that's
depending
also
on your
because
focus.
for people that are not familiar with the different processes for keycaps, well,
Mhm.
that one's not as bad. Is
Yeah.
so
The
there's
problem is, like, if you have the green space bar, it's really bad.
yeah. Hang on, let me get to that.
Like my green space bar was pretty bad.
Yeah, and I've come to expect that from an IFK. I don't have the green space bar, so but like
See,
so
see,
another
I've never
another
really
place
had
you'll
any
notice
issues with
it
IPA like that.
is like that on
Yeah,
like
and I
step
mean,
caps
it's
lock.
you know, and that's and again, like it's like I want to give them. Oh yeah, it's real bad on the step caps. Yeah, it didn't get into that little crevice.
Groove there.
So yeah, and it really, I mean, I don't know, it really sucks, but I hope that them and other vendors, they work out those issues, because I'm sure GMK, like in the beginning, they had issues they had to work out, like obviously. So I just want them to actually work that out. The only problem with IFK is I've seen these kind of complaints and stuff keep going, so I'm kind of nervous about them, but I do have hope for them and other manufacturers. Like,
Well, let's be real.
JTK is a lot better than when it started, and their triple shot is something GMK doesn't have, which is really impressive.
Well, let's hang on. So IFK, that's not necessarily just an IFK thing. That's a one-sided PBT die sub process thing that's going to happen across other sets. Also, you got to keep in mind IFK. I'm about 99% sure is just a TKC shell company. I don't think it's a separate company. I can't get Infinikey to respond to me when I try to contact them about having sets done. So I'm pretty sure they're just, like the polycaps, or like, they're just TKC's branch of keycap sets. So
IFK is actually WinMix.
okay,
They're what?
WinMix.
never heard of them.
So let me send you a link real quick.
Yeah, post it in chat. You should be able to post
what-
it, right?
What happened is WinMix is the factory where IFK's made out of, and basically IFK is WinMix. It's just they got smart with it, and they made like an off company and called it IFK and Finicky, and got with a TKC, but in reality it's just WinMix, and WinMix makes really good keycaps. Let me shoot you a message. Where are you?
Either way, like I understand, like there are pitfalls to certain processes for keys being manufactured and stuff, but things like that should not pass QC. And if that is like a potential glaring issue, that should be known. Like I think Novel Keys does a really good job of that with their here's what we mean when we say A stock, here's what we mean when we say B stock, like with photos and everything of their products. And I think then if I get something and it's got a little chip or it's got a little scratch, or or where they have explained it, I'm like, okay, well, I knew that going in, very transparent. But when you see like photos of sets that aren't real, that aren't close to reality on the set, like especially with TKC, like they've got in trouble quite a few times with stuff like that. Like I've seen like Morse was like off where they straight changed the pictures because it definitely was supposed to be orange, or everybody thought it was orange, but it ended up being like a peach instead. Or like I even have one of the Uwu desk maps, and it was supposed to be a very vibrant, very banana yellow, and it's like pale yellow.
See the color on the box? That's
Yeah.
the color they should have been. It was, and they just kind of slyly just changed out the renders. Didn't tell anybody. You couldn't find the original renders once it got closer to production time. And as someone that's actually a fan of Samuel Morse and enjoys the history of his story, it was infuriating because I was expecting an orange and black, and it's still oranger than it looked in those updated renders. So it is still kind of orange, but it's not that same bright, vivid orange that I was expecting.
Well, it does look better than than some pictures I've seen of it, and that could be like lighting. You might have a better lighting setup, but I mean, I didn't go in on it, but it's just kind of like me just kind of reiterating that. And actually, I've gotten 2 desk maps from them that weren't the color I was expecting them to be. Yeah, it's more of a pale orange. I don't know what I would call that orange, but definitely not like
But in the change, the unannounced changed renders, it definitely was really peach, and that really had me nervous.
Yeah, so I definitely hope that they change that. Like hold on, I don't have like one thing is like the group buy. I'll be running soon. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna try to take pictures of the actual color samples.
That's smart.
I'm gonna try to take some pictures of the actual color samples with some other sets and stuff that people know are commonplace. Like it's not gonna match, but it's gonna be like if you've ever seen this on any other keyboard, like a very common keycap set, like I'll probably do like whale or something like that and compare, and you can see like, oh, hopefully it'll help you tell like, is the photo too dark, is the photo too bright, because octopus doesn't look like that or something like that. So and I think that they could do more realism with that. I don't think that they usually do such a great job. But with that being said, I do hope that TKC does, make better progress and stuff. And I do want to order other like IFK sets and stuff through them in the future. Like I'm not one of the people who's just like, oh, IFK is, like TKC is like bad and like dismissing them, because I don't think that. I just think that it's like they need to do a better job in being realistic with expectations, or like presenting the way they present things to their customers, because I think that's the biggest complaint I've ever heard about TKC. Is just like, hey, these colors don't match, like these things aren't right.
So little known thing about TKC that you're probably not going to know outside of being a vendor. Tribosis, Krytox, in the United States you have to get it from Miller Stevenson. I don't believe that's a secret. I think most people know that's where you go for wholesale lubricants. The thing is, with Krytox, or not Krytox, excuse me, with Tribosis, there's a 14 kilogram MOQ. So the average small vendor is not going to buy 14 kilograms of lube, because I'm still on my first kilogram of Tribosis. I've gone through 2 of the Krytox because it sells faster. And TKC got with Miller Stevenson, bought a lot of the lube, and then started pressuring vendors claiming that they own the contracts on on Tribosis, and forced a lot of vendors to sign a contract with them to buy a certain amount of Tribosis every month. And that was just inherently unethical and just a blatant lie. They didn't own the distribution rights to it or anything. They claimed that they sent out emails to vendors. This was before I became a vendor, but they sent out emails to vendors saying, hey, we see you're selling Tribosis. We own Tribosis in the United States. You have to buy it from us. And to get it from us, you have to get this much every month. So the TKC has a long history of unethical business practices. They don't really care too much about their customers. And that's another thing I've noticed with these companies. As they get larger and larger, they stop caring more and more about quality control. They stop caring more and more about the end consumer, because their operating budget increases and they are more focused on keeping profits, keeping their employees paid, keeping their lights on, and keeping their coffers full. than they are keeping us as a consumer happy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
One point I wanted to make earlier was now that we're talking about consumers, if you don't like something, and Kerbal mentioned this too, you gotta tell them. We're in the hobby of where we pay a lot of money for plastics, and then we expect some sort of quality, and especially when they're done by big companies, or I don't want to say big company, maybe notable companies who's been in the industry for a while. Like I got the PVD seal. I was not happy. I was actually very disappointed. I just emailed them, hey, I got this set. I understand this is a quote unquote budget keycap set, and but what I got was just very subpar and is something that I would have expected from Kinetic Labs, and they got back
It
to me,
was it was something I would have
saying that
expected from Texie, not from Kinetic Labs.
right.
And to be honest with you, to be 100% honest with you, Texie sent me early renders of their keycap sets and their double shot PBT, and I'll bet you anything that Texie manufactured those because
Yeah.
they look exactly like the renders that Texie sent me.
So the point I want to make, if you're listening to this and as a consumer, if you have a problem with how they did it, learn how to complain nicely because they need to know. And this is not to drive anyone out of business or anything like that, but this is literally sending a message as a consumer, group of consumers saying, "Hey, I love that you guys are doing this work for us, but we cannot accept this kind of bullshit." Like, and that was my thing with Outlet too when they first fucked up the round one and the round two of the Mr. Steel. Like, sure, I get it. You guys are small and you can make mistakes, but the solution is not. We're getting butt fucked as a consumer in this hobby many times. Oh, group buy, GMK group buy. You waited 2 years, wrong color, too bad. That's what you're gonna get. Like I feel like we accepted to be okay with fuck ups, and I don't like that at all, to be honest.
I'm with you
If
on that.
you don't like what you pay for, if you feel like your money was not spent right, if the product you got is not what was promised a year ago, 2 years ago, if it's anything that is not satisfactory for the money you pay for, I think you should complain. I'm not
Yeah.
saying cuss them out, but like let them know like, hey, this
Mm,
is not good. Like
Yeah, and I
it needs
think
to be.
I mean, yeah, you're 100% right. And I think that's why like I'm here having this conversation about like TKC. Like anybody who's asked me about veneer because I've had it on a set, like I've told them my honest opinions about veneer. Like it definitely is the only keycaps that I have where I'm like I've been legitimately disappointed. And I think like it's important to like you said, like say something like that. Like I was in Alex Soto's stream when he first, when he got seal early, like before they had released the sale, and everybody asked him about it, and he said pretty much what everybody said. He goes, the alphas are great. He's like, but these mods, they're not good. He's like they're just pretty scuffed and they're pretty bad. Um,
Yeah.
and I think to top it off, everybody's like, the other sets have been great. Like I have corn, you can't see it, but it's on that yellow keyboard back there, and Corn looks great. I have Octopus. Octopus looks, in my opinion, looks really great. So they really dropped the ball with Seal, and I hope that they, learn from that. Like obviously they're still gonna sell the sets. Like I'm sure people are still gonna buy them because they're not as bothered, and they're like, it is a budget set and all that good stuff. Um, but I do think that they have heard, especially Kinetic Labs. Like I think that they're really good about hearing people and hearing not only just people, but the people they sponsor too, when they talk about their products and stuff. And so I think
Right.
that they're going to correct that. And I haven't heard of a single case where somebody's like, I've emailed them and they haven't gotten back to me, like they haven't
Right.
refunded me, like they're not going to take the set back. Everybody I know
Right.
who's been like, I'm sending it back, they're getting their money back. And
Yeah.
so I think
Props to
that's
Kinetic
perfect.
Lab for
Yeah,
standing behind their products and really
yeah,
that, because when I sent them the email, they got back to me saying, "Oh, here's a return shipping label. Please send it to us. Send it back to us. We'll give you a full refund." And that says, like, you know what? I'm not done with them. If I'm gonna give them more. Well,
yeah, yeah. Like that
that
wasn't.
assures me that they are backing up their own products. And if there's a problem in the future, I don't have to worry about wasting my money. So I love
Yeah.
how they responded. Like you said, no one has complaining about. And I'm pretty sure they're all aware of the situation too. So I really want to give them praise for taking care of it, right? So sorry if I gotta get going, folks, but it was nice talking to you. Have a great time streaming. Nice to meeting everybody here on the
Yeah.
chat too. I'll
Yeah,
see you
Thanks.
guys
It's good
later.
running into you.
Guys, if you're not following Frank, do it. You won't regret it.
I
He makes great content. Let me show you here though, right quick, what I'm talking about. So this is my conversation with Texie. These are the keycap sets that
Wait.
Texie produced. Sorry, it's on my phone. I guess I could send it over to my computer, but these legends are
It's horrible.
almost. I think I sent
The
you these
worst that I've
pictures.
seen
Hey,
personally.
you
They're-
posted. I saw a post that you put on your Instagram of them,
Oh, yeah.
and they were not great.
They remind me a lot of what Seal looks like. Like the gaps are pretty equal. I wouldn't be surprised if they did have Texie manufacture it.
Honestly, I 100% don't think it was Texie manufacturing theirs, and the reason why is because I think, like, while we don't know, what manufacturer it is, though, Kinetic Labs, for the time that like they've probably been planning to have Seal released and everything like that, I doubt that they've decided to use Texie, because I mean everybody's like, the jury's still out on their switches. Even like some of their switches
I can
are
tell
a
you.
pretty good quality, some of them are a very poor quality. So
I
I
can tell
think
you
with
that
seeing that, I don't see why a vendor as big as Kinetic Labs, with their whole promise of in stock and great in stock stuff,
I can
would
tell you
chance it with
the
them.
very first time I contacted Texie, which would have been July of last year, they were already trying to sell me these keycap sets, and they were coming soon. So it's not something new. When Texie made the announcement, it's been in the works for a long time. When Texie made an announcement on Instagram, that isn't the first time that at least the vendor community had heard of it.
Yeah, and I'm not
All right.
saying I'm not.
Hey guys, I actually have to head out of here.
Yeah.
But it's been an awesome time.
Dude, it's been good. See ya.
Thanks for having me on here, guys.
It's
I'll talk to you guys later.
Project, throwing him a shout out, guys. Give him a follow if you haven't. I'm also. It is getting really late. It's 1:00. Shannon, do you have to work tomorrow?
Yeah, man. I'm about to.
That's why I was like, how the hell is he still here? You
Yeah.
usually leave 30 minutes into a stream.
Yeah,
But hey,
I
thanks for
mean,
hanging out. Do you want to?
We were talking about clones, so like I really wanted to.
Go ahead. Finish your
get
thought.
in, because I think that there's. I really want to talk about that, and also just like I hope people are listening, and it's like, like as I know Alex says it all the time, like vote with your wallet and stuff like that. So it's like, if you don't like something, if something's not right, like tell those manufacturers, and if they do something about it, great. You can keep moving on with them, and you hope that they grow better. But if you're, if you see that one vendor that really doesn't like seem to care, not responding to emails, not listening to any feedback, keep pushing forward with stuff that isn't of quality, then you don't have to spend your money with them. Like that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let your money talk. Do what, support the vendors that you think are doing right, and don't support the ones that you think aren't. Let me see. How do I pronounce that? Zezio? Welcome to the stream. Hope I didn't butcher your name. How are you doing tonight? Shannon, do you want to show off the projects you're working on now, or?
I'll show off one of them, and then I will hop off. But shit, where is it? Hold on. Let me go grab it.
All right. So anybody that's not familiar with Shannon's work, if you've seen the Murph Pad acrylic cases that I sell on my website, he made them. He designed and printed them. This is a board that he did, the Flygon 60. This was a prototype of it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the Flygon 60.
Are you planning on going back and trying to do this again, even if it's just a small in stock thing?
Yeah. So there are plans for it. And so there are plans for it, but this other group I will take precedence first. The problem is, I have like a million projects going on at one time. But this one is really close. So this is, and I'm gonna cut on my autofocus,
and I'll be expecting my copy of it soon.
Yeah, as soon as you buy one. But
I don't mind paying. I don't mind paying.
So this is for anybody out there, this is the Mino. I don't know if you all have seen my ICs out there on Reddit, but it's a 40% hot swap keyboard. So you can see all the hot swap sockets back there. and it's going to be fully Bluetooth supported. So the idea is you can use it with your with any Pro Micro compliant microcontroller. So it should work with your Nice Nano using ZMK. It should work with the Elite C and the Pro Micro using QMK as well. I'm actually in the finalized revision stages. So
QMK/VIA. I imagine you're gonna have VIA support.
it will have VIA support. But I'm in the last stages of prototyping, so all I have left to do is there is a new revision to the PCB coming. So those are on the way. So that's great, but everything else has been prototyped, figured out. When it does go live, it will be a true pre-order. So that means everything will be ordered. Like there's already a limit. Like I've already factored in how many units I'm going to have to sell in all the different colorways. So essentially, when the cell goes live, you'll be guaranteed to get whatever color you got as long as it was in stock. And the estimated turnaround time is at this point, because I will have to produce the cases once the group buy ends. So the group buy is probably going to run for about 3 weeks or until they sell out, whichever one happens first. And then the idea is manufacturing will start immediately after that. So we're looking for about 3 months from group buy close to fulfillment of your keyboard case. So yeah, and it's really cool. I mean, the Mino's a 40% hot swap and made it fully out of stacked acrylic, and it's got a cute little OLED. But the inspiration behind it is the game of Tetris, and more specifically their shapes. So if you want, you can go check out that IC.
Yeah, feel free to throw a link there in chat.
Yeah, I'll throw a link to the IC in chat where you can read way more about it, where I've gone into detail. I've already answered quite a few questions. So there's because I've had quite a few responses, I've had tons of responses to the IC, which is really cool. I didn't think I would get as many as I got. So yeah, I'm gonna post that link in chat there. So go take a look at that.
I think the uniqueness as well as just the originality of it is definitely gonna appeal to people. So
yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I think it's really cool. I have high hopes for this set. I hope it works really well on this kit, and there actually will be, once I get the final prototypes in, there will be a build stream by one of the quote-unquote influencers of the hobby, so stay tuned for that, and there's going to be a giveaway as well. So the best way you can keep up to date is if you just follow that link I posted. There will be links to the IC and links to my social media. So follow me on Instagram. I don't have a Discord yet, working on that. But yeah, follow me on Instagram if you really want updates.
And if you can't find Shandon Codes, Cheese Lover, same guy. He's in my Discord. Hop in there, shoot him a message if you need to contact him and can't find his contact information otherwise. So one more off-topic question, and then we're gonna end this call.
All right, perfect.
When's gonna be the next North Carolina meetup, and are you gonna be the one to organize it?
So I will not be the one to organize it. I can guarantee you that, because if I was to organize, if you're waiting on me to organize it, you're gonna be waiting. That's a GMK wait time.
Yeah, I think right now we're all waiting on somebody to step up to the plate. Hopefully,
but actually,
hopefully something will happen.
I know Danny has plans. North Carolina. I don't know about one about North Carolina specific, but there is a Discord where some people are trying to do one for the East Coast specifically. They're trying to do the they're trying to do an East Coast meetup. So, and they're trying to hold it in Richmond, Virginia. So that Discord is out there, and there are some early stages of planning. I don't know how
when
far
you get
along
a chance,
it really is.
we get a chance, will you post an invite link in my Discord?
Yeah. I will actually. I can grab that right now and just grab that as a link, and I'll post that in the Discord server as soon as we get off this call. But yeah, so there's that. But no, I will definitely go to whichever meetup is next, as long as I have plenty of time to plan all that good stuff. Because I did miss I think there was one in Greenville I missed, and I really missed out on going to the one in to the Novel Keys keyboard meetup.
I wasn't
I
going to
would
go to
love
that one just because
Yeah.
novel keys and principles. But
Yeah. No, I really wanted to go to it because I really appreciate the effort that they really put in to host like such a big one, and they had a lot of really cool keyboard. There were a lot of really cool
Yeah.
people from
There
keyboards
was
that I would have loved
definitely
to have seen there in person.
definitely people there I wanted to
Um,
see, but I disagreed
yeah.
with some of the upfront cost. I think it was a little more than was necessary, but that's neither here nor there. Shannon, I'm gonna hop out of here. Say
Yes,
goodnight to my
but
stream
all
and
right.
raid somebody.
I posted that link in the Discord, but thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And next time
Yeah.
you're doing one of these keyboard talks, let me know. And
Yeah, we're
hopefully I won't
gonna-
ramble too much the next time.
This is it's all good. This is the third one, so we're gonna be doing more for sure in the future. So stay tuned. I'm gonna end this call. See you later, bro.
See ya.
All right, what's up, guys? Okay, so thanks for everybody that's hung out for this whole time. All right, cool. That's going to be the Discord. There we go for the East Coast meetup. East Coast meetup planning, I guess. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Gosh. All right. That's what happens when you drink ginger ale. Whoa. But all right, guys. So thanks for hanging out. To reiterate, we talked about a bunch of random stuff. At the beginning, we built the ducky pad. I've got a little short video on YouTube. I'll probably do a more in-depth video on once I have more time to play with this thing and see what can be done. As far as giveaways, type the command out one more time. We've got a couple giveaways coming out over the next month or so. I don't know for certain yet when the Kibio, big ass motherfucking keyboard 1% is going to happen, which is the new Big Switch PCB. Do not know when I will be getting that, but I do know that the corn has shipped. It should be arriving tomorrow. So next week we'll be building that corn, and then that giveaway is going to happen on Instagram and over the course of the week after the stream, and then on the stream on the 2nd, which is a Wednesday, on the 2nd, we'll be giving that thing away. So you don't necessarily have to be in the stream, but I would love for you to come and hang out with us. It looks like Nokibo, I was thinking about raiding him because we were talking about clone stuff earlier. Frank, are you still here? He's gone. Okay, let's see. Are you guys willing to help with a... Let me unmute him. Are you guys willing to do a raid message?
To the community of the keyboard.
Let's see what
You know what I mean?
Noki's saying here.
Are you ending stream? Kirball? No. I might end stream at 1:30 or 2, because I still want to keep this open space for people to come and hang out. Even if there's no one here to come and hang out, I don't care, but I'm just gonna keep this space open because I want to get some stuff done for myself. Kirball, go raid Tim. Go raid Tim. Thank you so much for asking, but go raid Tim.
All right. So Noki's telling me to.
Streaming for
Alright.
like one more hour.
Noki's telling me to. Let me mute this.
but
Noki's telling me to raid Tim, so we're gonna raid Tim, guys. Let's do for a raid message. How do you feel about kill clones? Can we get behind that, or should I do something different? Raid message. Who's down? Who's down? Hammer brother, you still there? Can you get that raid message? Let's see. Copy and paste that raid message, guys, so we can spam it over in Mr. Keyless's. Actually, I believe, if what I've heard is true, that Tim was just married, so make sure you give him some congratulations. I believe the ceremony just happened within the past week or so. I could be wrong and mistaken. So, show him some love. Let's get over there. If you don't know Tim Keyless, are you in this hobby? No, I'm just kidding. Tim's a great guy, guys. I definitely recommend hitting him with a follow, hanging out with him. He's been in this hobby longer than a lot of us. He's a partner with Twitch. Why is it not letting me hit enter? He is partnered with Twitch. I guess if they're not in my chat, I can't add them. Okay. There we go. All right, so we got the raid going. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out tonight. Really appreciate you being here, participating in the conversation. It's a lot more than I expected. I figured it'd be me and 2 or 3 people here and me on a rant. So, hey, thanks for hanging out, guys. We're going to continue to try and do more stuff like this at least once a month. There's a group of us that we're going to try and work together and get some stuff going. If you enjoyed this type of thing, please come into my Discord or Instagram. I'm on TikTok now. I'm everywhere. So please come. Throw me some feedback. Let me know what you think. If there's things you didn't like, if there are things you did like, I'm always open to new things, and I want to keep improving this stream, and I want to keep bringing people back and seeing more of you, because this is the best part of my week, these Wednesday nights when I build a keyboard and hang out with other keyboard heads. So thanks a lot, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. I don't have any streams planned until next Wednesday, but if you do happen to see me pop up live, I'll probably be gaming or doing some random thing. So feel free to drop in anytime, guys. And I do my best to be accessible. If you have questions about things that I sell on the website, or just want to shoot the shit, or just have questions in general, if you need some help getting OBS set up, or want some tips with problems that people have on Twitch, hit me up. I'm more than happy to help. But later.